Hey, how's it going? I'm Joe from Let's Head Wherever, and today we're going to be discussing one of the hottest topics in RVing, and that is internet. In this video, I'm going to outline the internet system that we went with and installed here in our RV. We've had it for about 6 months now, and it has worked amazingly. I wish there was a one-size-fits-all answer to what kind of internet do I need for my RV, but sadly that is not the case. There are tons and tons of different options out there. This video is going to focus on the one we went with. The top questions that you're going to have to answer when asking what kind of internet do I need for my RV comes down to your needs and how much you're going to use it and what you're going to use it for. For our family, both Leah and I work full-time online. The kids both do their school full-time online, so our needs come down to two things: decent speeds and consistent bandwidth, and reliability. As far as the speeds go, we're not like online professional gamers or anything like that, so we don't need lightning fast speeds. We are on Zooms on a daily basis. We have a lot of internet tabs open while I'm grading papers and Leah's doing her accounting work. And the same goes for the kids, having to watch video tutorials that go along with their school. So we need decent speeds that's going to be able to facilitate all of those at times at the same time. And as far as reliability, we need to know that when we park our fifth wheel and hook up, we have internet right away. We can't have down days working online full time. So for our internet system, we purchased a bundle from Mobile Must Have. Our bundle is called the Ultimate Road Warrior Plus Bundle, and it retails around $1,500. So it is certainly not the cheapest option out there, but it accomplishes our top goals: speed and reliability. You can put multiple SIM cards in the back of it, which works out really nice. We have AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon data plans. If we get to a place AT&T doesn't have the best signal, that's okay. We can run it off of T-Mobile. If T-Mobile isn't the best, then we can run it off AT&T. It also has a really easy to use interface where you can go through and have ultimate visibility over how much data you're using down to the second. And with that, there are also some safeguards built in which will prevent you from using too much data or going over your data plan. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to share some tips on how to conserve data usage. There are a few things that you can do to kind of lower how much data that you use, especially if you have data plans that have a limit of 100 gigs a month, maybe 50 gigs a month. That's not a whole lot of data to use over a 30-day window, but there are some things you can do to limit how much you're using each day. So for our bundle, I mentioned our 7-in-1 antenna. That's up on the roof. Let's go check that out.
Back before we went full time, I had a buddy come over and help me install our PARSEC 7-in-1 internet antenna. Once the terror of drilling a hole in your RV roof is over with, the rest of it's fairly simple. Take all the cords, pass them down through the hole, then we use some die-core around the holes and on the bottom of the antenna to seal it to the RV roof.
The wires from the antenna enter in our bunk room. This is the kids' bunk room. The wires here go straight up to the antenna on the roof, and everything hooks into our modem. The modem that we have is a Pepwave MAX Transit Duo. And one of the cool things about this modem in particular is it can take up to 4 SIM cards. So you can actually use 4 different carriers in this one modem. So on the back of the modem, right here where my thumb is, you can see that I have 3 SIM cards in there. We have data plans with AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. So what I do is I hardwire our Wi-Fi router from home into the Pepwave. So essentially the antenna pulls in cell or Wi-Fi signal. It gets passed from the Pepwave into our Wi-Fi router and rebroadcasts it as our own Wi-Fi. And the reason I did that, it was convenient to not have to redirect all of our phones and computers, Apple TVs, the TVs themselves, to the Pepwave because everything was already aimed at this from the house. As soon as this gets internet signal and starts broadcasting our Wi-Fi, everything is automatically hooked up to that, so it was super convenient.
Okay, so here is our user interface. And this is going to be how to configure and go in and see all the settings on our Pepwave modem. The first thing you'll see is all of our different types of connections. We have our AT&T SIM card up here. That's our primary. We use that more than anything else. You'll see down in priority 2, I have our T-Mobile and Verizon SIMs. That's set as a backup. So basically what'll happen is it'll pull AT&T data and rebroadcast that as our Wi-Fi. And should this ever lose connection, it'll automatically bump down and start pulling your Pri 2. So T-Mobile would then activate, and that would use the data to broadcast our Wi-Fi. For park Wi-Fi, if it is good enough, if it's usable, you can actually go in and connect this. Where we are, there is no park Wi-Fi, but if there was, you can go through and connect to it. And what it would then do is use the park Wi-Fi and rebroadcast that in your own signal. I mentioned that we have 500 gigs of data with AT&T per month. There could be a situation if you go over 500 gigs, your account may run the risk of being turned off. But there is a way to limit once you start getting close to 500 gigs. I'll show you how to do that here over in the details tab. All right, so now I am in the details tab for our AT&T SIM. Down here, your start day, right? This is when your account rolls over each month. So our account, the month begins on the 18th. So on the 18th, right at midnight, I set it up to have a monthly allowance of 450 gigs. I want to give myself a 50 gig buffer. So what this does is this just allows us, if we ever have a really heavy usage month, it's going to shut us down at 450. That way I know we only have 50 gigs of data left until we get to the 18th of the month when our account starts fresh again. Okay, let's talk now about lowering data usage, and you can do this especially with your streaming TV options. We are in our Netflix account right now. If you go into your Netflix account, you'll have to do this in a browser. You cannot do it through the app. Go down to playback settings. And now that you're in playback settings, you'll see data usage per screen. Now, Netflix is really cool about this because they can limit one or all of the different accounts, and you can even mix the different data usages for the accounts. For example, if the grown-ups want to watch stuff on high resolution, you can do that and lower the kids to a different one. I set all of ours to low. As you can see, there's pretty significant differences in how much data it uses per hour. So Netflix makes it super easy to do. Here on YouTube TV, it is just as easy as Netflix to limit your resolution. Click on the cog here, go into quality. Most times it's set to auto, so if you have a good internet signal, it's going to run as high as it can. If you want to limit that, just pick 360, 480, 240, whatever you like. And here on YouTube, they make it easy to change the resolution as well. Go over to the cog or gear icon. And the reason I'm focusing a lot on video streaming apps is because I was shocked to see the four of us could work full-time throughout the day. I'm talking 6 to 8 hours of heavy internet usage, watching videos on Zooms, and that combined would use less data than watching a 2-hour movie on Netflix at high resolution. It would literally eclipse the data that we would use otherwise, the four of us working online all day.
I hope that you found this video informative. We did probably over 20 hours of research on these internet bundles before we ended up just buying the one that Chad from Changing Lanes recommended. So hopefully we can save you a few hours of research too. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We share tons of our full-time RV living adventures and also put out occasional modifications, repairs, and upgrades to our RV. If you enjoyed the video, we would love a thumbs up and leave us a comment down below what you think. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll see you next time.